Hardcore Minecraft, the most difficult and unforgiving version of the game, where only one stupid mistake can cost your entire world and all of the hours you've put into it. I welcome you to a hardcore world which will hopefully represent a journey through my dreams. Welcome to my world. This world is called A Journey Through My Dreams. It's my fourth hardcore world, and this video is just a little bit about what I did when I started. So, of course, the first thing you do, punch a tree. I collected wood, got a little bit of food, I got my stone tools, and I was able to get some armor and stuff from Iron in a Shipwreck and buried treasure, which was great. I mainly just spent the first couple days walking around and finding different things. This is actually a really cool seed right by spawn. There's like a massive mountain range, which is really cool. And there's a village and an outpost nearby, which is really good. I'm also not sleeping in this world, so there will just be like phantoms forever. I've killed like 20,000 now. I then found this cave, like just in a small clearing, and I decided to make it my starter house. So I actually still have this to this day, and it's like, you know, this area is where I have like my city and stuff now. So it's very basic. It's just like spruce, stone, and some lanterns and stuff. But actually, I really like this place. It's just like a nice small thing that's just cozy and nice. My nether portal's there as well, and that's the next thing that I wanted to go and do. Trip to the nether to get blaze rods and ender pearls. So I headed through the nether portal to see what was going to be on the other side. I came through and it was just like a small ravine type thing, but with a bit of exploration I found a nether fortress. I boated down and started looking around. Now there were some blazes just out and about, and some wither skeletons as well. But the next thing I needed to do was go and find the blaze spawner, which I did, and after a little bit of trouble I was able to come out of the nether with, I think it was like 7 blaze rods. I kitted up with some diamond armor and I headed off to find the stronghold. It was relatively easy to find, and the end portal room, I just went in and put all the eyes of Ender in. And as I placed the last eye into the portal frame, I stared into the opening of a new dimension and readied myself to leave behind everything I knew about this world and enter the domain of the Ender Dragon. For some, the dragon fight can be the scariest part of the game. Floating above the void with Endermen all around you and a dragon swirling above, it's easy to start panicking. But for me, the fight itself was a relatively swift and easy task. With slow falling potions and golden apples, I really didn't have anything to worry about. For the final hits, I used my sword, and with only around 6 minutes spent in the end, I was ready to head further on into the end and find an elytra. Almost immediately, I saw an end city with a ship containing the elytra. I used some cobbled deep slate slabs to carefully bridge over to the island not 50 blocks away from the portal. The loot within the city was decent, but what I really came here for was the elytra. Climbing up to the crow's nest at the top of the end ship, I opened my new pair of wings for the very first time. Making my way back to the main end island, and then the overworld, I then came to the realization that I would need to be super careful with this item.
I had died 3 times already to either not wearing an elytra, running out of rockets, and just plain stupidity. The first thing I needed was unbreaking and mending. Unenchanted elytra do not have very much durability, and I really didn't want to fall out of the sky. With mending books acquired for a cheap price, I was able to fly off and begin my first build along the pathway. A storage house. I had quickly run out of space at the starter house, so it was time to make a small tower with space inside to store all of my blocks and items. The tower added a lot to the surrounding area, and looking up toward the mountains, I realized the outpost I had found on my second day in the world needed a little bit of an upgrade. So I destroyed the entire thing, connected up to the pathway, and built a slightly more detailed version. Now, you're probably wondering, how did you get that totem? Well, whilst working on the outpost, I had been fighting a lot of pillagers, and when I flew back to the storage house, I didn't realise I had bad omen, and I started a raid on the one villager that I had there. So, after that little interruption, I look forward to new buildings along the pathway. First, I made a small mob farm in the mountains for gunpowder, and then I started work on a villager house. Now this looks completely different nowadays, and I have a huge city built here, but this crappy little house allowed me to max out my gear with unbreaking and mending, and gave me experience points. I also connected this cool cave entrance to the pathway, which would later be my main base. The small villager house also has a book at the top with all the names of my subscribers. So if you want to be in there, please subscribe, but only if you really want to. It just kind of helps me and stuff. At around day 90, I was installing a small firework launcher for the turn from double digits to triple digits. It was super basic redstone, but it did the trick. I also wanted one more building for the pathway, so I made a small windmill with a crop field right before day 100. And then the night of day 99 came by, and so I could enjoy my fireworks before finally
day 100. I was so excited to see how this world was going to come out. So much was ahead of me, and I just had to take it one day at a time. Shortly after this, I started mapping out the city near where my main base was going to go. So I decided that up here in the mountain range, I was going to have a castle that was going to function as my storage area, that maybe some farms there as well. The first thing I needed was some ice, because I needed to sculpt some holders, almost like candle holders, for these towers to go. It might look a little out of place at the moment, but later on when I add other things, it looks way better. At first, I decided to go for deep slate for the towers, which was a good contrast against the mountains in the background, but looking at it, it was just too dark, and trying to get windows in there and stuff, it just didn't look great. So I tore them down and decided to replace them with a mixture between stone and stone bricks. The windows I put in with some spruce. They were just very basic with stairs, slabs and fences, and I think it was just some like white glass stain paint or something. I put the floors in the towers. These towers, I decided to I connected them to the main entrance with a small cave, just like a way to get up, and then I filled these areas with different plants and flowers that I had collected, just because I don't really know. I thought it looked nice at the time. Honestly, this is my main base anymore in present day. I'm well over 5,000 days now, but I'm still happy with it. Although I did need lots and lots of prismarine for the towers, like the tops of the towers, and so I decided that I was gonna drain an ocean monument and make a guardian farm. Now that of course started with having to drain the monument. So I laid out a huge square over the monument with snow blocks, just some temporary blocks, and then I had to place lots and lots of sand so that I could go in these small channels with the sponges. It took a while. You know, every single flash you see is a day going by, and I don't sleep as well, so I have to go through all the nights. But yeah, this was like a really fun project. I've done 2 before in previous hardcore worlds. And although this is the smallest one, I had a lot of fun with it. Although, because I drowned the outside first, it meant that all the guardians, the only spaces for them to spawn was inside of the monument. And so, trying to drain the inside, splitting it into sections was quite difficult with all the guardians, because as soon as I kill them, there'd be like another pack that spawned. So I just decided to like force my way through. And it kind of worked, although at one point I swam into this really small enclosed area, and there are maybe 5 or 6 guardians. I was just spamming the sponges, and I was not paying attention to my health, and I used my first totem in the world. I absolutely hate using totems. I have them so I don't die to stupid stuff like this, and you know, like fall damage and stuff, which has happened. But yeah, I just got super lucky in this moment. The rest of the inside was just easy. I just took it very easy. I took it slow. I did not want another totem pop. So yeah, just went through, got rid of all this inside stuff. This is where the guardian farm was going to go, and then I did the traditional circle around the monument. I don't come back here very often. In present day, I want to revamp it and make it into something special that isn't just a monument. But I made it look nice. Just because I can't have ugly builds in my world. So I made this ring of stone around the outside to try and blend the sea floor with the bottom of the perimeter type thing. I was also at this time mining out underneath the monument to clear space for different farms and stuff. So you can see it from above. It looks nice, but it could be a lot better. I did change the floor on the outside. So this is the inside. You can see what I've been doing, and then on the outside I was putting trees, mushrooms and stuff, just to make it look nice and cozy. But after this, I decided to do something different. I went out to where the stronghold was, and I made this small island with a tower on top as a way for me to get down into the end. I still have this. It's really nice. These are actually my first custom trees that I've ever done, which aren't brilliant, but they're still nice. And this is it in use. Into the end, which I do now have a build inside. It's called the Castle of Conclusions. After this, I went back to the big pathway that went up to the castle. I wanted to put something here that was meaningful. I made this ring of dark oak trees, and then I tried making a custom one. You can see the leaves are super tightly wrapped around the branches, which doesn't look great. And what was also pretty annoying is that when I was collecting spore blossoms in a lush cave, although I was being very careful with putting my chest plate on and stuff, I did use another totem in the lava. Oh, it's painful to watch. I've watched this clip so many times. I don't even really know how. I was just trying to rush through, and you can see I got pretty angry. But after that, I made some small houses here underneath the windmill. These are actually nice. These are the first houses that I made in the city. I have changed them since. The roofs are a bit different now. But yeah, they were really fun. And then I made this ring of stone floating above the ring of dark oak trees that I did. I split them into 6 different sections. Some of them are floating bits of land, and then others are just like a moss bridge type of thing. And then there's like a wall of vines and glow lichen that hang down. And yeah, I was really enjoying my world at this point. I think I was around maybe day 400-ish. And yeah, I just been enjoying making this world really pretty, because a lot of my previous worlds hadn't been so detailed. I had a lot of fun with doing interior work and just making things cozy. These houses all represent different parts of that journey. There's the blue house, which represents fighting and stuff like that. There's the yellow one, which is all about life, so there's a totem in there. And then the red is all about exploration. And those are all the things that I've really enjoyed about this world so far. And just small things along the pathways like campfires and stuff I'd really enjoyed incorporating. And this is the Grove of Communion. I do still quite like. I think I might change it at some point. But I had a really good time making custom mushrooms, custom trees, and just nice areas in my world that I could just enjoy seeing from above and also walking through it. Looking back up to the Hanami though, I took the prisming that I collected and I started making these towers. I used some lapis in there as well for the roofs, which really complemented the ice which was down below. It kind of merged the blue all throughout the build. You can see there's also some more towers in the background. I wanted this build to really cling around the main mountain that protrudes through the middle. And yeah, and then I went back to the city again because I can't stay focused on one thing for much longer than a few days. So there's some small ruins, and then I flew over to this island, and I started mapping out some houses that were going to go here. And this was meant to be a trading village. I don't think there's any villages there to this day. And then I went back to the monument, and I made this small, well, it's a storage area. What I wanted in the hole was to make lots of different farms. You can sort of see them in the background there. But this is where all the different items flow down into. And then underneath that, I actually found this really cool cave system. So I decided to hook up this path that would then go down into a small lush area. And then up in the other direction, there's a custom dripstone cave, which is quite nice. I think I do show it in my world tour video that I released a few months back. Oh, and now we're back to a different project. So this is where I actually fought the first wither. And I filled it all with water and made it look nice. That's called Wither Water's Way, I think. And then I went back to the end portal room because I didn't really like how the drop was, and so I instead made quite a large room. And instead of having a drop just through a black concrete pit, it's now a bit more of a pretty build. Yeah. It wasn't long before portals on the nether roof had started to gather. So my next project was to lift the portals up into swirling galaxies over a black void. Complete with star constellations and big stars in the sky, this place looked really, really cool. Originally, I was going to construct a big statue here, but after using a totem and not liking the progress, I opted for a pixel art galaxy I did without like Pratica. And to this day, the Nether Hub stands as one of my favourite builds. And other than the slight need for an expansion, this place is complete. And then it was time for another fireworks celebration. 1000 Days was here, and I was happy to at last be in quadruple digits. Thousand days, no sleep, easy peasy. Soon after, 1.20 dropped and I looted ancient cities, found cherry trees and trail ruins,
Ain't no way that I'm
had a close call with the warden, and made an army castle live up to its name with the new cherry blossom trees. So that was, yeah, my first 1000 days in a bit. Obviously there's a lot that's happened since then. I'm nearly at 6,000 days now, which is kind of crazy, and I'm really glad I've been able to survive this long. Unfortunately, a lot of what happened after that point I didn't really record because everything was taking a bit too much room in terms of storage in my computer, so I didn't record. There are some replay mod recordings that I did, but there wasn't really much to work with. So I'm just gonna leave it there. And oh, there's phantoms. As I was saying, I'm just gonna leave it there, and yeah, I will see you very soon. I have lots of things planned. I'm not necessarily working on them, but I have them planned in my head, so I'll eventually get around to doing them. 6,000 days, I'm probably going to do another world tour. I'm going to talk about all the new projects that I've done. I've had so much fun. There's a preservation center, I made a perimeter, I've made loads and loads of work on the city. In fact, I might actually show you now. I've been working over here in the city. You can see there's lots of new houses. Lots of new sanctuaries and stuff, and yeah, it's just been super fun, like working on it and
like reading all your lovely comments on the 5,000 Days World Tour. It was just honestly so sweet hearing it all. I'm so fortunate that it didn't blow up, but like it got a lot of attention for a small channel like mine. I'm so bad at doing outros. Right, I will see you very, very soon, I hope. Yeah. Have a lovely... Oh, it's more phantoms. Have a lovely day.